Hey there YouTube, this is the Wrecker84 here. So, in the few months leading up to TF Nation, I decided to myself, after much thinking, that I would start a Nemesis Prime collection. Mainly because I love the character. I've been a massive fan of the character in all its iterations, like Scourge from Robots in Disguise, and just the whole idea of like an evil version of Optimus Prime. Now, from a character standpoint, a lot of people would say that the evil version of Optimus Prime is Megatron, but I like the fact that some continuities have brought in a character that is literally an Optimus Prime repaint. And of course, we all know it's an excuse for companies to make like a black repaint of a mould of Optimus Prime. It's a very good excuse. But at the same time, it creates some brilliant figures. The one I'm reviewing today, in fact, is the War for Cybertron Optimus Prime. I think it was United, like the Takara, like Generations figures that did like the War for Cybertron stuff. I think it's an eHobby exclusive. I'm not entirely sure, but I think it was called something like Dark Side Optimus Prime, but there's no way I'm going to put this in my collection and not call him Nemesis Prime, so he's keeping the Nemesis Prime name, I'm afraid. But, oh, he is beautiful. The paint on him is just so amazing. It's extremely brilliant. He's got the very traditional, is it teal? I've completely forgotten what the colour is. I think it's teal. I'm not sure, is it teal or turquoise? I think it's teal. But it's got all the teal. It's got a few little details on the top, the sides, on the wheels as well. Like the outside of the wheels, it's got a bit, and it's got a little bit on the front. The only red on him, I think, is on the windshields, or what would be the windshields, really, in the robot mode. But as for that, there's not really any other red, apart from the eyes as well. I suppose you can count that as red light piping, I suppose. But yeah, I really love the War for Cybertron design for like the Optimus Prime mould. I really liked it. The transformation is quite terrible. I will say it's a little bit hard. It took me a while to figure it out. When I actually got home from TF Nation, it took me maybe a couple of hours to figure it out, because obviously I try and like transform figures these days without instructions. It's just I find it a bit more fun to figure it out myself. But yeah, overall it's a really lovely figure. It's got I think it's silver, like silver detail on the front, like the grille. Other than that, it's a really nice black. It's like it's like a bit shiny and a bit matte black. Kind of a mixture between the two on different parts of the toy. Like on the legs, I think it's more of a shinier black. But then when you come towards more the front, I think it looks a bit more like just a plain black. There's a few other silver details, grey details. Legs are grey, but what can you do? There's more teal on the fronts of the legs when it's in robot mode. But yeah, it's really lovely. I really love this figure. I'd say so far out of my 3 Nemesis Primes that I currently own, as I only bought 3 at TF Nation, I do plan on buying more, but for now I think this one is possibly my favourite one, as the other 2, my Toy World Orionville, that's hard as hell to transform, and RID Scourge, I don't know, he's just a bit old. He's classic, but he's just a bit old. He's not really my kind of thing. But I wanted one anyway, so what the hell. But yes, very lovely. So, as I previously said, the transformation on the War for Cybertron Optimus mould isn't brilliant. It's quite long. It takes quite a while to kind of get into. Once you kind of learn how to do it, it's like most of the Transformers. It's like it gets easier as you do it more. The only figure that goes against that rule is Revenge of the Fallen Optimus Prime, but we shan't get into that. But I think it was still a little bit difficult to kind of get into. I did previously own the Optimus mould, but I never transformed it enough before I just got rid of it. So I had to kind of relearn how to transform it, which took a while. I must say, it took quite a while. But what the Optimus Prime version lacks compared to this one is, well, I'll let you look for yourself. The one thing that strikes to me whenever I look at this, whether it's in its truck mode even, or whether it's in its robot mode, which is how it's displayed, is sheer beauty. I love a lot of the United figures. I don't own any other ones. I used to have a Cup, but I sold him. But whenever I look at United figures compared to the Generations versions, I just love them so much more. I think the paint just pleases my eyes so much more than the Hasbro ones. Granted, some of the Hasbro ones still look really good. I still quite like the look of a lot of Hasbro figures. But compared to the Takara ones, they just don't look as nice. I think they certainly lack in paint, but the United ones certainly make up for that. As you can see, the only red really on him, as I said, is on the chest, and then he's got red light piping, and he's got some more teal details on his face. You probably cannot see that. And you won't be able to see the light piping either, which is a massive shame, because I love the light piping on this guy. When you can actually get it to work, you kind of have to tilt him a little bit to get the light piping, but it just looks tremendous. It's a really nice glow to it. It's not the best light piping, but it's better than a lot of light piping, and it's better than no light piping. That's the rule. He's got 2 Decepticon symbols, which is strange for what the figure actually is, because he's called Dark Side Optimus Prime. He's still called Optimus Prime, so why is he a Decepticon? I know it's Nemesis Prime, which I will call him Nemesis Prime, and I'm glad he has Decepticon symbols, but that doesn't make as much sense to me. No. You can see he's got a few more teal details on the chest and on the crotch piece, and you can see again the front of the thighs. No, shins. That's it. Thighs are the grey parts, grey thighs. But yeah, the back doesn't look too bad. I think he looks quite flush. He's quite neat. He does indeed have a gun. It's just the same gun that came with the Optimus Prime version. It does go in his hand, like you'd expect a gun to go, I suppose. I mean, if a gun didn't fit in your hands, then you're not very much used to war, are you? And then the gun kind of folds away, if I can get it to work. Yeah, so it folds away like that. And then it's got like a hole on it, like a slot that you fit onto the back of him, so it can store on his back like that, which is, it's quite neat. I think it's quite nice to have. It is quite nice to have weapon storage on a Transformer. I think it's quite cool. And then one thing I like, which is similar to the MP10 figure, it has that. So it's like a mechanism that it'll just spring out. It's like on a spring. It's quite neat. It's quite cool. Quite like it. So yes, Nemesis Prime. I really love him. I think he's really amazing. If you can ever find one, and it's not too expensive, I would highly recommend it. I think it's a beautiful figure. It's extremely well done. United's probably quite outdone themselves on this one. It's a fantastic figure. I would definitely recommend it if you can find one for a good price. I think I paid about 30 quid for mine, which it wasn't too bad. I think I could justify it by the fact that I've wanted one for a while and I was starting a Nemesis Prime collection. So I think I justified it in my own mind, but whatever reasons you need to justify your figures, it's up to you. But yes, I would recommend it anyway. So thank you guys for watching, and take care.